Did you know that kissing releases happy hormones like oxytocin, which strengthen bonds and show affection? For most people, a kiss is more than just a physical act. It's a connection, a shared moment of intimacy. But for narcissists, it's often viewed as unnecessary, or worse, as a threat to their carefully constructed image of detachment and superiority. So, why do narcissists shy away from something as simple and meaningful as a kiss? Let's dig into the fascinating psychology behind it. Spoiler alert, it's not because they don't know how to pucker up. Are you ready for number 1? Hygienic reasons. Narcissists may avoid kissing their partners due to an exaggerated fear of germs or a compulsive need to protect their carefully constructed image. Their obsession with cleanliness and perfection often stems from a deep need for control. Kissing, with all its potential for messiness, can disrupt their flawless appearance and bring attention to imperfections they fear, like bad breath or smudged makeup. Dr. Craig Malkin, author of Rethinking Narcissism, explains that this avoidance is rooted in their fear of vulnerability. Kissing is too personal and exposes them in ways they're not comfortable with. This need for perfection can prevent them from forming genuine, meaningful connections. Their fear of appearing imperfect keeps them emotionally distant, making it hard for them to show affection or engage in moments of true closeness. Let's talk about number 2. Devaluation. Devaluation is a common tactic narcissists use when they emotionally check out of a relationship. In the beginning, they might idealize their partner, showering them with attention and affection. But as time goes on, that interest fades, and they start seeing their partner as less worthy of love and care. This shift isn't about any actual change in the partner's value. It's more about the narcissist's inability to maintain real emotional depth and connection. Dr. Ramani Durvasula explains that narcissists move between over-idealizing and devaluing others because they see relationships as tools for their own needs, not for genuine bonding. To create emotional distance, they often avoid physical intimacy, like kissing, which leaves their partner feeling confused and rejected. As author and therapist Wendy Bahari puts it, devaluation is a way for narcissists to avoid vulnerability by keeping others at a distance and never letting them get too close. Let's move on to number 3. Jealousy. Narcissists' jealousy often stems from their deep insecurities. When their partner is confident or attractive, they may feel threatened because they view these qualities as competition rather than assets to the relationship. This insecurity can lead them to withhold affection, like kissing, to regain control or balance the scales. Dr. Craig Malkin, author of Rethinking Narcissism, explains, narcissists often feel inadequate deep down, and their partner's desirability highlights their feelings of unworthiness. Instead of admiring their partner's qualities, they distance themselves to protect their fragile ego, creating confusion and emotional distance. Now let's continue to number 4. Fear of attachment. Kissing is a way of forming a deeper emotional bond, and that's something narcissists fear as it threatens their need for control. Emotional closeness makes them feel vulnerable, and they work hard to avoid that. Dr. Les Carter explains, narcissists fear relationships that require mutual emotional investment because it exposes their insecurities. They avoid intimacy, like kissing, because they want to protect themselves from feeling exposed or trapped. As psychologist Wendy Bahari puts it, emotional intimacy can trigger fears of losing independence or being vulnerable. It creates distance and leaves their partner craving connection while the narcissist stays guarded. You can't miss number 5. Entitlement. Narcissists operate with a sense of entitlement. They believe they deserve affection without needing to give it in return. They view relationships as ways to boost their ego or maintain their status, not as mutual partnerships. Narcissists' self-absorption makes them see love as something others owe them, not something they need to share. This behavior can leave their partners feeling confused and hurt as they struggle to understand why their partner seems distant or unwilling to show affection. Narcissists focus on maintaining the upper hand and seeing others as sources of validation without reciprocating that effort. Are you still up for number 6? Attention seeking. Narcissists often want their partners to beg for intimacy because it boosts their need for power and attention. They put themselves in control and reinforce their importance by withholding affection. They see their partner's desire for them as proof of their value and status. Narcissists crave being the center of attention and use this dynamic to keep their partners constantly focused on them. It creates an unhealthy cycle where the partner feels neglected and goes to great lengths to prove their worth. It may feel like they have to earn love and closeness from the narcissist. While this behavior feeds the narcissist's sense of power and self-importance, it leaves their partner feeling emotionally unsatisfied and stuck in a loop of longing and frustration. Let's keep it moving to number 7. Emotional blackmail. In a healthy relationship, love and affection are shared freely, creating a balanced give and take. For narcissists, though, relationships are purely transactional. They only show affection when it serves their needs or goals. They use affection as a reward for obedience, making their partner feel as though they have to constantly earn their love and approval. This tactic is a form of emotional blackmail, where they withhold things like kisses to maintain control. It creates an unhealthy power dynamic and leaves the partner feeling anxious, unsure, and always striving to please. Dr. Susan Forward, in her book Emotional Blackmail, explains how this kind of manipulation traps the partner, making them feel powerless and dependent, while the narcissist remains in control and dominant. Here comes number 8. Unrealistic standards. Narcissists often expect their partners to meet impossible standards, even when it comes to something as simple as kissing. They might say their partner's lips aren't kissable, but it's not really about attraction. It's more about keeping their sense of superiority alive. Dr. Craig Malkin, in Rethinking Narcissism, explains that narcissists set these high standards to feel special and in control. This behavior can leave their partners feeling rejected and unsure of their worth. Dr. Nathaniel Brandon also points out that this kind of rejection damages self-esteem. It makes the partner feel small, while the narcissist avoids emotional closeness. In the end, it's just another way for the narcissist to stay in charge while their partner is left questioning everything. Moving on to number 9. Emotional affairs. Narcissists may avoid kissing their partner because their emotional energy is often tied up elsewhere, such as in emotional affairs. These affairs serve as a way to inflate the narcissist's ego while leaving their partner feeling neglected and unimportant. Dr. Shirley Glass, in her book Not Just Friends, explains that emotional affairs can be just as harmful as physical ones. because they create an intimacy that rightfully belongs to the partner. Narcissists frequently use a tactic called triangulation, where they manipulate their partner by involving a third person to stir up insecurity and competition. This strategy keeps the partner feeling uncertain and desperate for the narcissist's attention, while the narcissist thrives on the thrill of being desired by multiple people. By diverting emotional energy elsewhere, the narcissist maintains control and avoids the genuine closeness that kissing and intimacy demand. Finally, we're down to number 10. Hyper-masculinity. Narcissists who embrace hyper-masculinity may avoid kissing their partner because they see affection as a sign of weakness. Hyper-masculinity emphasizes dominance, control, and emotional detachment. It makes tenderness feel threatening to their image. Terry Real explains that men conditioned by such ideals suppress vulnerability. They equate it with a loss of power. For narcissists, this mindset is even more rigid, as they fear emotional exposure. Brené Brown highlights that vulnerability fosters connection. But hyper-masculine narcissists prioritize their ego over intimacy. They leave their partner feeling rejected and emotionally unfulfilled in a one-sided relationship. In conclusion, a narcissist's avoidance of kisses is about more than just the act itself. It's tied to their need for control and emotional distance. Kissing requires vulnerability and connection, which are two of the many things they often struggle to give. If this behavior shows up in your relationship, it might signal deeper issues with closeness. Remember, you deserve someone who values emotional and physical intimacy. So, is it time to rethink things and find someone who leans in, not away?